Hi, it's the practical therapist Ellen Byros here. Um, Decided to do a video in the car since I always get lots of good ideas when I'm driving. And today, the idea that I've been thinking about is metaphors that I use in therapy that help clients understand some of the issues and tools that are helpful in getting to a place where they are more emotionally healthy. So, one of the metaphors that I use quite often is the metaphor of baking your own cake. And this has to do with being responsible for your own validation. That clients that come into me who have come from dysfunctional families of origin often have an inability to validate themselves in that they will look to other people to validate them. They look to other people to be responsible for their happiness, be responsible for their self esteem. And that is not a functional, reliable way of maintaining self esteem. And the reason is because it can be very precarious when we put our happiness or our self esteem or our self worth in someone else's hands. For example, if someone asks me, quote unquote, asks me to care for them in that way and I'm having a bad day, I probably won't be able to do a very good job with that. So, if someone else's self esteem and self worth is completely dependent on me and what kind of day I'm having, then that's not going to work very well for that person. So the metaphor I use is that validation is like baking your own cake. We should be responsible for baking our own cake, and if other people want to frost our cake, then that's just an added layer of validation. So baking your own cake is you validating yourself. You tell yourself you're worthy. You tell yourself you are a nice person, that you're caring, loving, worthwhile, etc. And if other people want to top that with icing, great. That's just an added benefit to the cake. But we know that cake is sweet and certainly edible with or without icing. So the analogy of baking your own cake works, at least I've been told by many of my clients, works well when I'll ask them in session, how's that cake baking going? Did you give somebody else the recipe to your cake and they didn't follow the directions, or they're a really bad baker, or whatever it might be? And that sort of draws them back into, well, wait a minute. I did give the ingredients to someone else. I did ask someone else to bake my cake. And guess what? They didn't do a very good job at it. But if I had baked my own cake, if I had validated myself and then had someone else give me icing, quote unquote, then I still would be fine if the icing didn't work out, or if it wasn't a very good flavor, or even if the icing was wonderful. So that metaphor works well with individuals who are struggling with the validation issue. And metaphors are used just to sort of make some of these concepts easier to understand, simplifies it. One of the things that works, at least in my practice, is to be able to articulate and describe and provide tools for my clients that are easy to understand, that they can actually take and practice outside of my sessions. Because one of the things that I say quite often is that most of the work of therapy is actually done outside of session. It's not done in session. I'm only seeing my clients once a week or once every other week. I'm simply providing the tools for them to go out and work on whatever they need to work on themselves. So, wanted to give you all that little tip today, and I will be back with another metaphor, therapeutic metaphor, probably while I'm driving. And hope everybody has a great day. Bye.